Road home was a solution to some, but because it had flaws, it left many behind.
That was Congressman Troy Carter speaking last week during the announcement of the close of the Road Home program that was intended to help Louisiana residents following the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. And anytime you have a big program like that, there are always some glitches. Congressman Carter was joined by Governor John Bel Edwards and the Biden administration's Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Marcia Fudge. But there are some people who still have questions about the decision, what it means for them. A lot of people were sued by the state. We have Andronica Norris, who is the Executive Director of Housing NOLA. And what are some of the questions that you're fielding right now? So
folks want to know what this means for them. It is a relief for thousands who are being sued by the state. That was also announced.
And those lawsuits are dropped.
Those lawsuits are going to be dropped. But the questions are, some people agreed to settlements, and apparently those settlements are not going to be rescinded. Some people hired lawyers to fight the state.
And they're not going to be refunded.
They're not going to be refunded.
And some people did make some payments. That money won't be coming back.
No, it's correct. And also, what does this mean moving forward? I mean, Katrina looms so large, and the Road Home programs, the challenges are still being dealt with and still being seen in how we design programs moving forward. How are we going to make this better so that, as people, we still haven't made any appropriations for Hurricane Ida?
Yeah.
How do we make this better?
And we have talked about this for years.
Yeah.
One of the #1 problems in this community is affordable housing.
Yes.
And affordable housing, if there were more of it, it really could be one of those things, one of the key elements in curbing crime.
That's right. And this is another area where we need to put people first by putting housing first and making sure that homeowners could have returned, people can rebuild after a disaster. I mean, we've continued to have, Hurricane Katrina will be 18 years ago this year. There have been a myriad of storms, including Hurricane Ida and Hurricane Zeta, that have hit the New Orleans area that people still haven't recovered from because people still haven't recovered from Katrina.
And the Road Home program, I mean, it was done with the best of intentions. They wanted to go ahead and help make people whole again after the storm, and then came the raising the houses, and that's where some of the big problems came in.
Well, before that, the program design was inherently flawed.
Well, yes, it was. Whenever you're dealing with that much money and that many people.
Well, no, they could have done better. You know, the exposés that have been done in the last few years, community's been talking about this, we've been talking about it, and we finally got proof in the last year that the program was designed in a way that the people it was intended for, that it was never going to work for them.
Yeah, and the trouble is, a lot of the programs, we saw this during the pandemic, the money that was handed out, it's done so fast, a lot of checks and balances weren't there, and a lot of times in the case of the pandemic, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars went to people who just didn't deserve it.
Well, the checks and balances are always there when it comes to the people, particularly the people who need the help. Where we see the checks and balances not being deployed is with the contractors, with the disaster profiteers who come in, and no one's checking the balances on them. We find that there's too many rules on people who need the help, rules that they can't meet, standards that they can't be reasonably held to. That's where this goes awry. So in the name of ending fraud, waste, and abuse, we put the rules on the wrong end. So the people who get too much money are the people who don't.
Yeah, and you still wonder why since that money was available, and they didn't make it easy to get it, let's put it that way, that there's so many houses that are still blighted, still abandoned, especially in the 9th Ward.
That's right. I mean, the Road Home program, one of the reasons it was created was to help the people in the lower 9th Ward who had become, in many ways, the face of Hurricane Katrina.
Well, they became the face of it, the symbol of it.
Yeah, the symbol of Hurricane Katrina. You look at the lower 9th Ward, and that has to make you go, what happened? Yeah. And we know what happened.
And a lot of it still needs to be taken care of. So anyway, thank you for coming in. But if people do have questions, they can get a hold of you guys.
Yeah, they can go to our website, www.gnoha.org, www.gnoha.org, or call us at 504-224-8300.
All right, Andronica, thank you very much. Let's get over to Peyton now.
All right, thanks, Eric. It's 8:15 on your Lundy Raw morning, and the next couple of days we're warming up. We've also got increasing southwest winds, so increasing humidity, but shouldn't be a huge issue with regard to the winds. We always keep an eye on these for our